Pop Tropica, Guy's Principal Application. Pop Tropica is a multi-mini game where players choose islands to explore and solve the mystery or problem of that particular island. The movement of the game is simple. Players move their mouse, keyboard arrows, or finger in certain directions for their character to follow. If players want their character to jump, they may double-click or tap where they want their player to go or move the arrow above their character. This game is free and available as a website or app on Apple or Android phones. Pop Tropica cannot easily be grade-based, but instead is development-based. For instance, there is a mythology island which connects to a grade 8 possible unit of study. Educators may use Pop Tropica to help explore a particular unit, evaluate students' learning, or encourage confidence and skill building within their students. However, for the purpose of this review, we will be looking at themes, outcomes, and indicators from grades 1 to 3 of the Saskatchewan curriculum. Guy's Principles. Principle 1, Identity. Players are able to create and foster the development of a character throughout the game, earning rewards or upgrades for their character. Players are also able to see themselves reflected in the game. Players are able to customize the character in the game to reflect themselves or build a character with a different appearance. These types of appearances incorporate clothing, hair color, hair type, glasses, and shoes. As well, names are assigned to each character but are customizable and use adjectives and animals and objects instead of gender stereotyped names. Identity is a theme in Grade 1 English Language Arts. Students begin to question who they are and what it means to be themselves, or in other words, character development and advancement. This principle allows students to feel connected to the game and to their learning within the classroom. When positive character development is achieved in a game format, it helps students to become motivated in self-exploration and identity advancement. Principle 2, Risk-taking. Players are able to try various ways to solve problems without losing their position, level, or skills in the game. Pop Tropica constantly saves and allows players to continuously try until they develop further in the game. In some instances, there is a time limit for players to collect items or complete a task. Players are also able to try certain ways to solve problems or tasks, and even if the way they try does not work, they are able to try a different way until they progress further in the game. This principle allows students to challenge themselves in their own ways of knowing, thinking, and learning, as well as experiencing the positive feelings and benefits of exploration, such as higher self-esteem. Risk-taking allows students to think critically, pushing beyond perceived limits and uncovering new opportunities. Principle 3, Customization. The ability to choose particular modes and levels in a game to fit an individual's needs. Players are able to choose their difficulty level through the levels or islands they choose in Pop Tropica. Levels range from two-way connections and memory to complex, ordered, and fixed. As well, players are able to choose the speed of the speech bubbles, challenging their self-awareness of their own capabilities. Choices and customization are evident in Grade 1 as a theme for questioning deeper understandings. The Saskatchewan curriculum states, "What choices are right for me?" And when choosing levels in Pop Tropica, students may consciously or unconsciously question what level they should try first. This principle allows students to adapt their own learning to their skill levels, as well as challenging themselves when they feel they are ready, which fosters confidence and allows students to take ownership of their learning. Principle 4, Well-ordered problems. Problems which build off of one another, or in other words, information that is utilized to build more complex pictures. Guy states that in good video games, the problems players face are ordered so that the earlier ones are well built to lead players to form hypotheses that work well for later, harder problems. For instance, students may pass a memory game involving music to gain access to a particular song. Later on, players must use this song to gain access to another clue, and so on. This example relates to a Grade 1 mathematics outcome. Demonstrate an understanding of repeating patterns, 2 to 4 elements, by describing, reproducing, extending, and creating patterns using manipulatives, diagrams, sounds, and actions. When students play the memory game, they are demonstrating an indicator of this outcome by reproducing the pattern. This principle allows students to explore multiple uses for various pieces of information, fostering critical lenses and deep analyzation skills. Well-ordered problems also act as a form of scaffolding for student learning, helping to declutter what could possibly be overwhelming information. Principle 5, pleasantly frustrating. A game or task within a game which allows players to develop skills without creating negative self-esteem. Players must explore to find the solution to the problem and interact with each and every character to find the next clue. Depending on the level or island players choose to explore will depend on the level of frustration. If we take a look at an island called Mission Atlantis, students are to capture pictures of sea animals based off of a portfolio they are given of each animal's characteristics. But some of them are hiding. Students must figure out how to get these animals out in the open to take pictures of them. However, the answer may not be immediately known. The Saskatchewan Grade 1 Science Outcome LT 1.1 aligns with the assignment of the game. Differentiate between living things according to observable characteristics, including appearance and behavior. This island and Guy's principle intertwine with one another to help implement curricular outcomes. This principle challenges students to think differently or slow down their thought processes and search out other ways to solve problems in collaboration with fellow students. Frustrating tasks can also be the precursor to greater concepts and ideas, such as the boost in self-esteem when the frustrating task is worked through or solved. Principle 6. Explore, think laterally, and rethink goals. As stated by Guy, games encourage players to explore thoroughly before moving on too fast, to think laterally and not just linearly, and to use such exploration and lateral thinking to reconceive one's goals from time to time. In Pop Tropica, exploration is the focus of the game. Players must use various knowledge bases and problem-solving strategies to move onward in the game. Pop Tropica also requires players to make simple and complex connections, as well as referring back to previous actions to hypothesize what to do next. This principle, as similarly discussed, allows students to explore their own abilities and question what they may be missing, which is preventing them from advancing. As well, this principle can develop into a lifelong skill for students to solve problems outside of the classroom. Other curricular connections. In the Time Travel Island, students get to know each character of a specific time and what their problem is that the students must help them solve. In one section, students learn that a family has lost a bag of salt that they sell to make money to provide for their family. This concept can be applied to an indicator for Grade 3 Social Studies, assess the role of work in communities, including the value of paid and unpaid work, and identify how wealth is defined and acquired in communities studied. Despite all the positive aspects of Pop Tropica, there are a few issues we must address as well. Firstly, when picking a player in the game, players are able to customize the skin color of their player. The problem lies within the sound effect when players change skin colors, the sound of a spray can. This facilitates the idea that skin color, specifically race, can be changed. Although this idea seems as though innocent for young players, it can have lasting repercussions on students of various racial identities. Along with specific races, come stories of assimilation, slavery, and white supremacy. Educators must ensure all students are aware of these stories before playing the game. We must also question whose story is being told and what is being left out. There is a specific level in Pop Tropica called Time Travel Island. Within this level, players travel through specific eras in time and history, such as the building of the Great Wall of China, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and the works of Leonardo da Vinci. If educators are to utilize Pop Tropica, they will not want to use it to teach students history, but rather connect some of the knowledge students learn. Although educators must be conscious and aware of the concerns in Pop Tropica, this game allows players to strengthen their problem-solving and reading skills while simultaneously exploring their own creativity and thinking in order to achieve a goal in a safe digital format.